Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Before we begin, I just want to remind you that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me, and the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So without further ado, let's start. So the purpose of this reading is to figure out what are their thoughts, feelings, and intentions towards you, and then some general advice for you. Before I begin, I just want to say that this is more concerning a romantic partner or love interest, or maybe even a crush, someone that you see as sort of in a romantic light. And also, I just want to say before I begin that this reading isn't going to resonate with everyone. So without further ado, let's begin. So we have 3 piles here. Each one has a figurine in front of it. The first pile, we have a grandfather clock. The second pile, we have a teapot. And the third pile, we have these red shoes. So I'm going to count down from 10 and give you 10 seconds to decide between the 3 decks starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the first pile, the grandfather clock pile, and I'm going to move the other decks out of the way. So what do we have for the grandfather clock group? What do we have for the grandfather clock group in terms of what does this person think about them? What are their thoughts towards the grandfather clock group? What are their thoughts towards the grandfather clock group? So their mental sort of energy here towards you. So I'm seeing here that they see you as someone who really cares about the world. Maybe you are kind of into social causes. You may be an Aquarius or a Libra or a Gemini, but I'm really getting more so Aquarius and Libra, possibly either in your moon, sun, or in your natal and birth charts. And I'm getting that they see you as a really just person, you have a very strong sense of what's right and wrong. And yeah, you have almost like a big picture view of the world. There are a lot of people out there who have a narrow-minded vision of the world or life in general, but you have a big picture view, and they see that, and I think they admire that about you. And I'm seeing that they're very attracted to you physically, King of Wands. So they're extremely attracted to you. Like, I think they see you as probably a bit, quote unquote, hard to get, but they see that you are sought after by a lot of people. I think they see you as, really sought after. You're basically like hot stuff. They think that you're very high in demand. Okay, so let's move on to the next phase of cards and see what does this person think about group 1, the grandfather clock group? What does this person feel about the grandfather clock group? So what does this person feel about the grandfather clock group? What does this person feel about you? So I'm seeing here that I think at first they thought maybe you were either, if you're female, I think they thought you were maybe like either a bit of a gold digger or maybe the type of woman that kind of like a man-eater type, like you go through men, kind of like you go through gum, like different flavors of gum or something like that. Or if you're a guy, I think maybe they felt like you were a player, or like you could be someone who could like play with their heart, basically. Like, maybe you're not like that, but maybe you can come off that way, maybe because of your appearance. Like I said earlier, you're really attractive, or you have some energy that is just very magnetic or charming. in some way. But I'm seeing here that at first that's what they thought, that was your initial impression of you, but then eventually it kind of moved on to more of a consistent sort of energy where they felt like, okay, I can trust this person, they're very consistent, they're steady, they're not like super, they're not trying to take advantage of me, they're not trying to play me or anything like that. Like, I think they felt a sense of trust and comfort at one point, and then I think maybe this person may be afraid that because you're so high in demand, or they basically see you like almost like you're on a pedestal, like the world card we saw earlier. Like, it's like they see you like you're on a pedestal here and you're sought after by a lot of people, you're really like high in demand, and I think they're maybe a bit worried. They feel worried that you may leave them, that you may, get bored of them or something like that and kind of just flit away, like a butterfly. That maybe they think that butterflies don't like to sit on flowers for too long, things like that. And also I'm seeing that, yeah, they're very attracted to you, almost to the point where they're very intimidated. I'm getting some intimidation energy, like they're very intimidated by you. Like, they think you're either too attractive for them, too intelligent, or just too like high in demand, or just too worldly and cultured, basically, where as they don't feel like they can maybe measure up here. So even though their mind is saying, wow, this person's amazing and putting you on a pedestal, but their feelings, it's like they feel like they can't measure up, or they feel like, am I good enough? Am I good enough for this person? It's basically like so amazing. So let's move on to the next phase of cards to see what are their intentions towards you. What are their intentions towards you? So what are their immediate attentions towards you here currently? What are their intentions? So I'm seeing here that, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, this is a very Aquarian energy. I think I'm getting some really strong Aquarius or Libra in your chart, and your moon, sun are dotted in your natal chart. That's there. You have a very strong sense of, justice. Like, you're really passionate about the world, like what's going on in the world. You have a big picture mindset. So their intentions towards you is like they almost respect you to the point where they really feel kind of intimidated. Like, am I good enough? Like, why did they choose me? Like, what's so special about me? Kind of like that. And yeah, they really do put you on a pedestal, I'm seeing here. But ultimately, I think their intentions are that they see you as husband or wife material, because look at this card. I mean, it's pretty clear to see. At the same time, I think maybe they want to grow, they're trying to like grow their income or grow their, basically they want to be able to take care of like a family, or maybe like provide for like a family, or, get to that place where they have enough money, enough, backup savings to basically settle down with you. So really getting, their life in order for you, essentially, because I think maybe they think that needs some work in their life, maybe like their job or job opportunities or some career, like they want to grow that in order to provide for someone like you, if not you. And also, I think they see you as someone who's kind of pampered, like maybe you had kind of a like a blessed life, like a charmed life, where you seem like you want it all and you could have it all, and they really want to get to that level, I think. Like, I'm not saying that they necessarily feel like they'll never reach that level, but I am saying here that they do see it as this is going to be like a lot of work to put in to get to that point where they can basically, be that person that's kind of on your level, and that, in the same wavelength, basically. So let's get some general advice for you guys. Let's get some general advice for group 1, please. I'm going to cast some charms, and then that'll be some general advice for you for the grandfather clock group. So here we have some charms I'm going to cast. So what general advice do we have for the grandfather clock group? What general advice do we have for the grandfather clock group, please? Wow, that's actually kind of a lot. So I'm seeing here that you should be wise, conscientious, be careful of your next moves. Make sure that you don't get swept up in confusion. Like, you really have to see the big picture for what it is. You know, let the light of your intuition guide your way. You may, like I said, they put you on a pedestal. That's not a bad thing, and you may want to kind of, whatever those qualities are that they really like about you, you know, if that's the light that somebody sees in you, maybe those are positive traits. So you may want to see what that is and kind of illuminate that. Illuminate that for sure, because why not, you know, work with what you got. And then you want to be, wise about it. You want to really think things through before you leap into anything really serious here. But I'm seeing that this person is someone that will stick by you, if anything. Like, even if they're not going to stick by you as a lover, they'll stick by you as a friend for a really long time here. And here we have some letters. So I have PV, we have TI, pivot, maybe. Or maybe just these letters individually could mean something. Pivot. I'm kind of getting like pivot. I feel like at this point I'm kind of playing Scrabble, but just intuitively, yeah, like this kind of is making the word pivot. I'm thinking maybe what it's saying ultimately is that it's almost like a game of chess. Like, be careful in the next steps that you take. Be wise. Don't jump to any conclusions. Whatever qualities light that they see in you, you should illuminate that. Make sure that you don't jump into anything unless you're ready. And if at any point you feel like this is better off as a friendship, and you think things will just, big picture, end up better as just a friendship between the two of you, then you should change course. Don't be afraid to change course. Don't be afraid to, be 10 steps ahead. I'm getting some energy. This is almost like a game, like a chess game. Even if they're, they may have good intentions, you may have good intentions, but ultimately I'm seeing that this is kind of like a game between the two of you, and that's part of the intrigue, because remember I said that they kind of put you on a pedestal. I think the word of advice here is that sometimes that's beautiful and that's great, but sometimes when somebody puts you on a pedestal, it can get knocked down very easily. Like, the higher you are on that pedestal, the easier it is to just get knocked down from it. So that's just a word of general advice here. That might mean something significant to you, hopefully. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and I just want to remind you again, Group 1, that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me, and the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight into Group 2, the Teapot group. So what thoughts does this person, the Teapot group's person, or Group 2's person, what thoughts does this person have about them? What are some thoughts that are coming up about them? So what does this person think about the Teapot group? What are their thoughts? Okay, so I'm seeing here that initially this might have started out like they thought you were just going to be like a fling or something, or someone that would enter their life and then they could just let go of really easily. Getting some Leo energy here. Like this person is very confident. They have a very big ego, strong ego. They might have some beautiful hair, something like that, or some great smile, something that involves like, I'm seeing like shiny, something shiny, like their eyes are really shiny, their smile, or their hair is really shiny, or something, or their skin glows, you know, something like that. And yeah, Leo energy. So I'm getting some strong Leo energy from them. If not, they may be another fire sign like Aries or Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, possibly. But I'm seeing here that I think you kind of stroke their ego in some way. Like they have a really big ego, and I think maybe this person, whether they realize it or not, their love language is having their ego stroked. So like whoever makes them feel like, you know, great about themselves, like confident, you know, like, oh, I'm so great, like that kind of thing. That's what they like, I guess. And I think they think right now that you're really making their ego feel good, basically. And I think at first they didn't think that was going to be the case. They thought this was just going to be like a short little fling and then they would just like detach. But I'm seeing here that, yeah, no, like they like the fact that you make them feel good about themselves. And they do have this sort of Leo fiery energy. So this is just kind of the way they are. Yeah. So, and I'm also seeing here that this person is very easily led by emotions. So, like I said, they're very ego driven. So if you make them feel good and confident and very like big as a person, amazing, great, like things like that, fantastic as a person, they're gonna really not know what to do. Like that's their sort of love language or their Achilles heel. That's their weakness, is when you stroke their ego, make them feel good about themselves. And I'm seeing here that, yeah, like when you do stroke their ego or when you do things that make them feel good about themselves, really confident and whatnot, like they feel or they think that you are probably valuable to them, because maybe the idea that they're thinking about is, or the thoughts that they're having is, well, this person makes me feel good and confident and great about myself, so I have to keep them around, you know? So okay, that was kind of vague, but let's move on to how this person feels about you. So what do they feel about you? Which is entirely different from what they think about you. So what do they feel about group 2, the teapot group? So I'm seeing here that regardless of what they think about you, they seem to have this vibe that you are like very innocent, very naive, very childlike, and they almost want to like take care of you. But at the same time, I think the reason why in the beginning where they felt like, oh, this isn't really going to amount to much, is probably because they felt like they might really have to take care of you. Like maybe you seem like somebody who like you're a little high maintenance, or you need a lot of like pampering, a lot of reassurance emotionally. And so maybe they kind of felt like, ooh, that might be kind of like overwhelming for me. Like maybe they're more used to somebody else pampering them and really showering attention on them and caring about their needs and their emotional needs. And so I think maybe they initially thought like, ooh, we're not compatible because I need somebody to pamper me, not the other way around. And I think they thought that yeah, it might be kind of overwhelming having to like provide this sort of attention on you, because they're more used to having attention shown on them. And also I think that they feel like even though you make them feel really good about themselves, you stroke their ego, like all that, I think that somewhere in the back of their mind they feel that you are kind of going to be challenging, because I think they do get this sense that you do like to be pampered, or or you're kind of insecure, or you need a lot of like reassurance emotionally, I'm getting here. And I think that might kind of make them nervous or something. Like they're not sure if that's something they can handle. Because once again, this is just to remind you that this person is the type of person that is used to having attention shown on them, like attention given to them, attention showered on them, and you know, they're used to getting their emotional needs be at the forefront, be the priority in a relationship or dynamic. So that's the reason why maybe they think that they're a little anxious. Like they think you might feel like there's some incompatibility here. So let's look at this person's intentions. Let's look at this person's intentions towards you. Let's look at this person's intentions towards the teapot group. What are their intentions towards you? So, okay, I'm seeing here that their intentions, initially, once again, they thought you were just going to be a fling. They thought, okay, this is going to be an ego boost, and they'll just like let go, I'll detach, you know, it's fun. However, I think they feel something new with you. Once again, very strong fire energy. Like I'm really getting some strong Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius energy from them. You know, they could even be like a fire sign moon, like a moon sign that has a lot of fire. But they are I think they feel kind of confused from their initial thoughts because you seem different from a lot of what they're used to. Like they thought, oh, this person's really pampered, this person needs a lot of, or maybe not pampered, but this person needs a lot of attention, a lot of emotional reassurance. I don't know if I could provide that. But then when they got to know you, I'm seeing that kind of changed in some way. Like they felt like, I really want to start something, maybe like have this person around, because it's like almost like I'm getting the vibe of like a new beginning of some kind. Like even if they're not completely sure that it's going to work out, they still feel like there's something new about you, that they've never really met anybody like you before. Maybe you're very creative, or you have a lot of ideas, or you spark something in them that they've just never quite felt. It might not necessarily be on a romantic level. I think maybe this is more so on like a subconscious level that they may not even realize. But it's like when it comes to food, like you're basically like a flavor or spice that they've never experienced, they've never had, and they're like confused. They're like, what? Like this isn't at all what I thought it was going to taste like. Like, you know, when it comes to food, like if you could make the analogy with food. And I'm seeing here that they're really into, this person is really into having their ego stroked. They're very into getting attention. They're used to the attention. They're really into fantasy. So like they may have all these ideas in their heads about, you know, like who they'll be, what they'll become, you know, where they'll go, like things like that. They have a lot of ideas, fantasies in their mind. I don't know if this person is delusional necessarily, but they definitely have a lot of dreams, fantasies that involve them being very pampered, given a lot of attention, given a lot of reassurance, and ultimately having their needs met like 100% or 200%. That energy is definitely there. So let's give you some advice here. Let's try to get some advice for group 2, the teapot group. Let's try to get some advice here for the teapot group. So what advice do we have for the teapot group? I'm going to be casting some charms here for you to try to give you some advice here. So what advice do we have for the teapot group? Please give us some advice. Please give us some really good advice for the teapot group, please. Wow, okay, that's a hefty amount of charms here. So we have TL. So these letters might be significant in some way. T and L. I'm even getting like excuse me, like the vibe that they're late a lot, maybe. Could be wrong, but maybe they're late to a lot of things. That's just their MO, maybe. Or could be saying, tell this person what's on your mind. Be more communicative. I think that's probably more realistic here. Communicate. I think that's what this is saying. Or these letters might be significant in some way separately. It could mean anything. So here's some advice for you according to these charms. Okay, so yeah, they see you as really unique, like a unicorn. Let me try to focus. So yeah, they see you as, they see you as basically like a unicorn, the type of unicorn that they've never met. Like I said, like it's all new to them and they're confused because you're not anything like they thought you were gonna be like. I'm also seeing here that you're kind of marriage minded. You want somebody that you could spend the rest of your life with. And I'm kind of getting the message that you should really keep that in mind. Like if this person, if you ultimately don't think this person is someone I can spend the rest of my life with, you should move on, or you should communicate that to them, like what you're feeling. And if things aren't moving along the way that they should, and you intuitively know that you might be wasting your time, I'm not saying that you are, but if you are, you should fly away and find a dove that fits you, that you know that you could really end up with and spend the rest of your life with. I'm also seeing that you're very intuitive. You listen to your dreams. Like if you've been having dreams, those are the key to some kind of subconscious truth here that you may not be realizing outright. Don't be afraid to once again leave if you don't feel, and this isn't even about just this dynamic, this is any dynamic with anyone that you have. If you feel like this person's not meeting some essential needs of mine, don't be afraid to fly away. Not saying that you should necessarily, but I am saying that, don't be afraid, or maybe even explore new environments, explore new hobbies, explore new things, because you might actually clear your mind or end up kind of getting some kind of information just by sort of putting yourself in sort of a new environment, like some kind of epiphany. And once again, listen to your dreams, listen to your subconscious. And I see here that you're actually a very kind person. You really almost maybe give too much to others at some points, where you will like literally stand on your tippy toes, like trying really hard to balance things, like way on your tippy toes to like please others, maybe like a people pleaser. But yeah, I am getting that you may want to listen to your dreams, maybe even do like a dream journal. This is going to reveal some subconscious truth that you may not be realizing in your waking life. So yeah, and also remember the letters TL. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and I just want to remind you again that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me, and the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get straight into the third group, the Red Shoes group. So what do we have for the Red Shoes group? So what does their person think about them? What does their person think about them? What does this person that they're thinking of, what are their thoughts about them? What are their thoughts involving them? Okay, so I think that they see you as wow, basically. Like, how did I get this person? Like, or they see you as like their dream come true, basically. Like, whatever that they wanted ever in a partner, like they see you as that. like they've been hoping and wishing and praying that somebody like you would come along or something. Or maybe they've just been like, they always had this like fantasy of like a partner or something, like something about you, like either the way you look or the way you carry yourself or something about you is telling them right now, at least mentally, like thoughts wise, that you're it. Whatever they've been fantasizing about or thinking that's, oh, this is my ideal partner, like that's what they see you as. And yeah, they're really wanting to, I think, pamper you, like take care of you, like make you feel really good about yourself, like really basically, give you this affection and like loving energy here. They really want to, and they want to like almost like treat you like an empress or a king. Like we have the empress slash the king of the east here. So someone who really wants to, pamper you, really affection, those kind of things, like warm, like fuzzy feelings, almost like I'm getting like puppy love, like, even if you're like older than like teenage years, like it's almost like they're reverting back to that sort of mode, like that almost like puppy love energy. Here we have the King of Coins. So yeah, they want to get you gifts. They want to shower you with things that you like they want to maybe, like cook for you, things like that. They just really want to pamper you and like show you a good time. Like they want you to have fun with them. They want you to enjoy their company. Wow, this is very wholesome, I must say. So let's move on to the next phase of cards. So how do they feel about you? So that's how they think about you, like their thoughts, like their mental energy. So let's see how they feel about you. How do they feel about group 3, the red shoes group? So I'm seeing here that, yeah, they, like I said earlier, puppy love. Well, here's a puppy. They really have this energy. I'm getting this, I think they have some earth sign energy. I'm getting some really strong like Taurus energy from them, like Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo energy from them, either in their moon sign, sun sign, or dotted in their natal chart. So they want to tell the world about you. So this bird card basically means like talking, communicating, like they want to brag about you to their friends, their family. They just really want to tell people about you. Like, I don't know, this is a really great energy here I'm getting. Like, they just really want to brag, like they want to show you off. They want to tell everyone like, oh, I have this person in my life now and they're great, like it's everything that I've ever fantasized about, like what an ideal partner is. And once again, earth energy here, really strong earth energy. They also feel that you may be kind of difficult to get to somehow, not necessarily physically get to, obviously, but emotionally, like, or something. Like they feel like maybe you're a bit closed off or something, like they're not able to connect with you as deeply as they want. Like maybe you're kind of closed off, you're kind of guarded, or you're kind of like intimidating, or kind of giving off an energy that maybe you're hard to get, or you just don't quite like open yourself up emotionally, maybe. That's interesting. Okay, so let's see their intentions towards you. So what is this person's intentions towards the red shoes group? What are their intentions towards you? What is this person's intentions towards the red shoes group here? So I'm seeing that I think they might honestly be a bit insecure. I think that they might think that maybe you're too good for them a little bit. Like they feel a little bit like they like you so much that I think they just feel like does this person really like me as much as I like them? Like, are we, filling each other's cups equally? Like, do they really like me? Because like I said earlier, the mountain card that we had earlier. Like, I think they feel like you're kind of closed off, or you're not really like quite showing your emotions yet, or just like something is closed off here on your energy. Something is difficult to get to. Like, you know, think of like climbing a mountain. It's not easy. And yeah, like I'm seeing here that you're very secretive. So we have illusion or the moon card. So they see you as like you're secretive. You're kind of like I said earlier, like you're kind of emotionally closed or kind of emotionally reserved. And they see that as like mysterious, but at the same time they see it as like kind of like confusing, because like they don't know like if you really feel the same way about them, like really like deep down, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, like subconsciously, like do you really feel the same way about this person or like them as much as they like you in that way, like in that sort of, you know, like that fantastical way of like they think that you're sort of ideal to them in some way. Something about you is ideal, and I think they feel a little insecure, or they have some doubts about whether you feel the same way, like really deep down inside. And yeah, their intention is to just give you their heart. Like here we have the Knight of Cauldrons. They want to offer you, see these flowers here? They want to offer you their heart on a platter, on a in a golden chalice. Like they really want to pour their heart and soul, I think, into you. They're offering you that cup, whatever it is. It could even be in small ways, like just doing nice little things for you, favors, or even just remembering little things about you that you didn't really think were that important, but they'll remember them. They'll offer you maybe like little gifts, or basically you just know that they keep giving you things. And yeah, I'm almost getting this vibe that you're not totally sure. Like, you know that you like the attention. Okay, that's the vibe that I'm getting here. You know that you like the attention from them, but are you really sure that you really feel the same way about them? And are you really sure that ultimately this person is it, like that? Because I feel like they really think that you're like it, at least now, because they have this fantastical sort of image about you in their head, in their minds, in their hearts, that you're like everything that they've ever wanted, like that kind of fantasy basically. But I just want to heed a warning here that the bigger the fantasy, or the bigger the bubble, the easier it is to pop, you know. So just be careful of that. But other than that, they are a little worried that you may not ultimately be looking for the same thing that they're looking for, or feel the same way about them really deep down inside. But they really do want to pour their heart, their affections, like they want to give you gifts, they want to just give you little sweet sort of like they want to express their love language to you through like giving you things in some way, once again, whether it's affection, favors, compliments, something like that. So let's give you some advice. I'm going to be casting some charms here to give you some general advice here for the Red Shoes group. So let's try to give you some advice here by casting these charms. So what advice do we have for the Red Shoes group, please? What advice do we have for the Red Shoes group? What advice do we have for the Red Shoes group? Okay, so X. I'm seeing here that there may be some X energy, whether it's their ex or your ex, something that ended maybe even recently, or maybe that you're still harboring in the back of your mind, or that they're harboring in the back of their mind. I'm seeing here that you really want to put some roots down, or they do, but I'm seeing here that in this dynamic, this is really important, like the ability to set roots down together, really set a foundation that's going to grow, that's deeply rooted in the ground. I think you should ask yourself that question. Is this someone that I really want to do that with? Like really want to do that with? And the ex, I don't know, I'm kind of getting the vibe that maybe their ex was didn't treat them very well, or that your ex didn't treat you very well, because of the way that there's only one letter and then everything else is silver. Something about it just seems like this doesn't belong with this. So I'm getting some